Losing weight while you sleep might seem impossible, but you're about to learn 3 ways to balance hormones so that you can do just that. Just like my friend Belle, a busy mum and business owner, did. Over the years, she had gone from a size 10 to a 14 and felt uncomfortable in her body. However, once she learnt these 3 hormonal keys and how they boost metabolism, allowing you to burn more calories all day, even when sleeping, she was back in her size 10 jeans. The first thing you need to understand about is the effect certain foods have on the brain, creating addiction. These addictive foods mess up the metabolism, which in turn makes burning fat a challenge. But what most people don't know is that the food industry intentionally designs foods to have unnaturally high pleasure responses in the brain, triggered by the release of the hormone dopamine. High dopamine levels make it hard to stop eating these foods once you start, as we get pleasure from eating them. You know the feeling when you open a family-sized bag of chips and before you know it, you've eaten a whole lot? That's dopamine doing its job. However, there's also another hormone involved here, leptin. This hormone tells the brain when you've had enough to eat, but if leptin is out of balance, that feeling of fullness doesn't arrive. If you constantly feel hungry even after a full meal, that's leptin no longer working optimally. This is called leptin resistance, which basically means you have plenty of this hormone, but your brain isn't receiving the message to stop eating. Therefore, both leptin and dopamine lead to overeating and weight gain. But things get worse. This overeating then causes damage to the part of the brain that regulates metabolism. This is because in the brain we have something called the lipostat. Think of this as a thermostat for body fat. Just like a thermostat works to keep temperature stable, the lipostat's job is to keep weight stable. It does this by adjusting how hungry you feel, how much energy you have, and even how cold you feel in order to balance the overall calories you burn each day. So if you haven't eaten enough, you start to feel tired, hungry, and cold. When this lipostat system becomes damaged due to constant releases of dopamine and high levels of leptin, it starts to malfunction. Here's an example to explain this. Let's say a person's body weight is 140 pounds. If they start to overeat foods that damage the brain's body fat regulation system, such as highly processed foods, the brain, instead of regulating their weight at 140 pounds, can malfunction and start to regulate their body weight at a higher level, perhaps 160 pounds. Where it previously was keeping the body at 140 pounds, it is now keeping the body at 160 pounds. In other words, it has chosen a new body fat set point. This means that if you then try and lose those extra 20 pounds, the lipostat slows down the metabolism, making you feel cold, hungry, and low in energy, which makes losing weight an uphill battle. An example of this is the contestants from The Biggest Loser, a reality show where participants undergo intense dieting and exercise regimes to see who can shed the most weight. These individuals experience remarkable body transformations, moving from obesity to lean physiques. However, an intriguing fact is that a 2016 study by the National Institute of Health tracked over a dozen ex-Biggest Losers and uncovered that out of the 14 people studied, 13 regained a significant amount of weight they had lost on the show. This is because their metabolisms are broken and their lipostat system is confused and falsely thinks a heavier body is what it needs to get these people back to. So essentially, their brain works to make them fat again. This is their lipostat in action, maintaining their body weight at its previous level. As soon as they were no longer under the stringent conditions of the reality show, their hormones and lipostat overpowered their willpower, leading to weight regain. I'll show you how to fix this in a minute. But first we need to look at an intriguing study. Scientists conducted an experiment with individuals who were permitted to consume as much as they desired from a bland diet for 3 weeks without any other food options. During this period, the participants lost an average of 3.13 kgs. Another group of volunteers lost the same amount of weight through just portion control, but they could eat junk food instead of providing them with an unlimited bland diet. No surprise, the second group reported constantly struggling against hunger, even dreaming about food at night. Conversely, those on the bland diet remained cheerful and didn't experience any starvation response. This study proved that by eliminating processed foods and consuming whole foods, it allows the lipostat to function correctly and lower body fat and hunger hormones to work properly. This explains why Biggest Loser contestants regain their weight. they haven't corrected their lipostat function by eliminating foods that damaged it in the first place. In his book, The Hungry Brain, fat loss expert Stephan Guyenet talks about how high-reward foods like processed foods tend to increase food intake and fat gain, while low-reward foods such as whole foods tend to have the opposite effect. He advises to eat simple foods. So if you're aiming to boost your metabolism and burn fat while sleeping, the first step is to remove highly processed foods that mess up dopamine and leptin regulations and damage the brain. So, it's not about low carb or counting calories, but instead about eliminating processed foods from your diet and focusing on simple whole foods instead. The next trick to improving your metabolism so you can burn fat while you sleep is fixing your thyroid function, because low thyroid function can slow down metabolism too. This happens when thyroid hormones don't work properly. A 1986 study unveiled an intriguing link between thyroid hormones and metabolic rate. What they found was that when overweight individuals shed weight rapidly, their ability to burn calories fast slowed down. This dip was tied to lower levels of a specific type of thyroid hormone called T3. Here's where it gets really interesting. When these participants were given thyroid hormone replacements, T3 and T4, while sticking to their weight loss diet, remarkably, their ability to burn fat immediately improved. In other words, their metabolism improved so they could burn fat while they sleep. So, if you're struggling to lose weight, you might want to get your thyroid hormones levels checked. If they are low, the good news is there are natural ways to support it, which I'm going to get into now. The key thing is to ensure you have healthy levels of iodine, selenium, zinc, and vitamin D, as they support the thyroid in producing the right balance of hormones, which in turn keeps your metabolism firing on all cylinders. So how do we get them from our diet? Starting with iodine, you'll find it in seaweed and iodized salt. Moving on to selenium, Brazil nuts are the top source. For zinc, you're looking at meat, seafood, and pumpkin seeds. Now, for vitamin D, the sun is your best friend here, but if you're living somewhere where sunlight is a luxury, foods like butter can offer small doses of vitamin D. And if that's not enough, consider adding a vitamin D supplement to your routine. Further ways to improve thyroid health include eating high-quality carbohydrates and protein in your diet. This is because high-quality carbohydrates give you energy and help turn thyroid hormones into a form your body can use. Examples of carbs to include are whole foods like fruits, vegetables, nuts, and legumes. Moving on to protein, these contain amino acids that help thyroid hormones to work properly. But get this, eating the right amount of protein could also help speed up weight loss, as shown in a 2005 study where researchers uncovered that upping protein intake while keeping carbohydrate levels steady significantly curbs hunger and reduces daily calorie consumption. This study involved 19 participants who switched from a weight maintenance diet to a high protein one. The results were impressive. The participants spontaneously ate 441 fewer calories per day and lost an average of 4.9 kgs in body weight over 12 weeks. They also saw a reduction of 3.7 kgs in fat mass. The theory behind protein aiding fat loss is that it needs more energy to digest than fats or carbohydrates. This is referred to as the thermic effect of food. Additionally, protein helps build and maintain muscle mass, which burns more calories than fat tissue, allowing the body to be more efficient at losing weight. This leads me to how building muscle through a certain type of exercise could enable you to burn fat while you sleep. This can be done in as little as 11 minutes a day. You don't need fancy equipment or an expensive gym membership. Let me introduce to you high intensity interval training, or HIIT. HIIT is a workout style where you do short bursts of intense exercise followed by brief rest periods. Doing this type of workout can enable the body to burn calories for up to 48 hours after the workout is over, and numerous studies have found it to be beneficial for weight loss and metabolism. For example, South African researchers assigned an 11-minute HIIT workout to 120 women aged 18 to 40, all of whom had varying body fat levels. They completed the workout 6 days a week for 14 weeks. The results were nothing short of impressive. These women didn't just lose weight, they saw significant improvements in their fitness, body composition, and importantly, markers of their heart and metabolic health. Essentially, they were able to burn more calories at rest. The reason HIIT helps to boost weight loss and metabolism is that it triggers the release of growth hormone and catecholamines. These are your ultimate fat-burning allies. Growth hormone aids in breaking down fat to release fatty acids. These fatty acids then serve as muscle fuel during your workout. This not only assists in fat burning, but also helps maintain muscle mass, crucial for keeping your metabolic rate high and losing weight even while you're sleeping. Now, let's talk about catecholamines, specifically epinephrine and norepinephrine. They work hand in hand with growth hormone to burn fat by prompting the release of stored fats into the bloodstream where they can be burned for energy. So, incorporating these type of workouts into your routine can help you boost metabolism and burn fat while you're sleeping. That about wraps it up. If you're struggling to reach your body weight, it might be your hormones. So make sure you click the link below this video to take our hormonal balance quiz and get a personalized hormone report tailored to your hormone type. Also, if you found this video helpful, please subscribe and leave a comment below.